been a long time since I went to high school in the 90s. Now, you may think I'm an irrelevant old fogey, but I have learned many things in my many years, and I will tell you this. Magic R&D does not understand blue. Okay, I don't know if R&D doesn't understand blue, or if they're afraid of blue, or they just don't know how to develop or control. Maybe they fear they will make something that's broken, so that's why they panic whenever they make a blue card that is even a little good. Like Treasure Cruise. Treasure Cruise is a really good card, but it wasn't breaking the format. Sure, there's a lot of decks running it, a lot of decks splashing it, and it makes Delver slightly better. Slightly better. But Delver was a deck before Treasure Cruise, and it is a deck after it. The problem is that Treasure Cruise was good, and it was blue. So it got banned. And then they banned Dig, too, just to be safe. Dig was the next logical choice. It's double blue. You can't splash blue for Dig. Everybody who doesn't play blue always complains about blue, but blue doesn't get any support. Mill is very rarely a win condition. There have been a few times when it was viable, but most of the time it's not. It's a terrible mechanic that they keep bringing back. They give it no support, they do nothing to make it viable, they never have. Each new set, every new counterspell is just strictly worse. It's like a game within the game. What way can we make a new counterspell so it is strictly worse this time? They say 2 blue to counter a spell outright is too powerful. So what about all the decks that can have combos that fire off turn 2, turn 3, where there's no way to stop them? They win the game. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to have a way to stop those decks? You know, like Counterspell. Now, if I can have Negate, why can't I have a 2-drop true Counterspell to stop those combos? Is the difference between Negate and Counterspell that dramatic? They've said Counterspell would break Modern, but Negate? Nah, no problem. I seriously don't think the people who make this game know what they are talking about when it comes to blue. So, let's ask this. What are you going to do in mono blue? You don't have ramp, you don't have kill spells, and it's a slow color. So what are you supposed to do without true counter spells? Shouldn't I have some way to slow down my opponents? Isn't that the point of the color? Mono blue decks are very rarely able to be made. What's the last powerful mono blue deck you've seen? Right. Blue is not getting the support it needs to even stand on its own. And yet, in every season and every format, there's a version of mono red. Counterspells are lacking. Any really good cards tend to be overpriced. So, they are 4 more mana than they are worth. Oh, I have 6 mana and I can copy a creature. Oh, that's great. That's super useful. I have a lot of situation where I need to copy a creature for 6 mana. Don't even mention take another turn spells. Trespass through time is so expensive because they're terrified of what happens if you take another turn. Triple blue, so they made it unsplashable. So why bother? It's just another $1 blue mythic jank, or in other words, a blue mythic. You get some blue cards that are good here and there, but it is not a well-rounded color. It lacks good creatures. Think about it. What's a super playable blue creature? Or a blue card that's great early game? They came up with a brilliant card once. Mental Misstep. Now, just listen to me, will you? They printed Mental Misstep to help solve the problem of super early game combos and wins in Legacy. It did its job amazingly, and so they banned it for doing what it was intended to do. Well, enjoy an entire format of early turn combos and wins. They can't make anything right anymore. Like Whenever they want to make a movie or a television show out of something special and unique, they always intentionally strip it of what makes it special and unique. Remember what they said with the Star Trek reboot? We're going to make a Star Trek movie for people who don't like Star Trek. Then it isn't Star Trek. Then just make a space action movie and give it its own name. Here's a bright idea for you. How about you make a Star Trek movie for people who love Star Trek? How about you make the best damn Star Trek movie you can? Now I can have negate. Now if I can have negate, why can't I have a 2-drop true to counterspell? I don't know what that means. Why can't I gotta read that again because it's gibberish to me. They say 2 blue, one more time, I'm a little bit behind. The difference between negate and counterspell is that dramatic? I gotta do that again. The difference between, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Not a really well, blah, blah.
Very good, though. I really like it. See, I'm glad we did that second take. It's much better.
Oh, much better.
Much better.
Much better.
Much better.
Much better.
Much better.
I
Much
agree.
better.